Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. You find us here for the last time in this current session at the World Touring Car 800. We're not doing the World Touring Car 800 today. We're doing a custom race. This is the culmination. This is the end. This is the final of the 24-hour grind of Spa. Before we get into this, I'd just like to share with you my sponsor. I'm a GT Amiga affiliate, and with that, I'll post an advert for them every so often. And here we go. This is the rig I'm using today. We're doing a custom race for which I'm just about to load the settings, and then I'll talk you through how we set one of these up. So it's an endurance at 60 minutes. There's going to be 17 cars. That's 16 AI and me. Rolling start at 20 meters. Slipstream is going to be real. Real tyre wear is going to be at ×8. Fuel consumption at ×4. Refueling at ×7. Or 7 litres per second. Grip off track is real, so it's going to be slippery. We've got custom weather. We're going to start in the afternoon. 24 speed on the variable, so that's 1 hour race times 24. It's going to be a 24-hour. As you can see, we've got custom weather in there. Rivals we're selecting from the garage. Go down to open, and you then select your car. So, for example, Mr. Steiner, we're going to change car. We're going to go and find him one to use. But in this case, it's the Nismo LM. We do that all the way down the grid. So we get down to the bottom there. Click apply. Strong shortcut penalty. Wall penalty is on strong. Correct vehicle after wall collision, no. Collision for car penalty, yes. Pit lane cutting penalty, yes. And with that, you click save settings. We're just going to hit start. We were on professional, so 376,000 for this win. It would be more if we went longer. So here we are with the custom race. The car choice of today is the 917 Living Legend, the modern version of that 917K that we're going to leave behind at S10. Those car settings are medium tyres. Now if you look up there, 799.99. This is not a bot race. This is based on the settings that I gave the AI. The AI can choose their tyre. So whilst I give them 800 pp, I haven't curtailed it. They can choose to change tyre if they wish and go higher. We're going to try and stick to that 700 pp. If anything, I'm going to drop to a racing hard to try and stretch the fuel, but we'll just have to see how long it goes. At the moment, I'm aiming for a 3-stop. We'll have to see what happens. Racing mediums it is. The car comes particularly standard. The only thing we've actually changed is the differential gear at 555. The fully customizable suspension is exactly as it came from the tin. The downforce at the front are 501. The downforce at the rear 750. The ECU is down to 90. We haven't put the adjustment on the ECU. The tracing transmission is at 380, and there is nothing else added. We've just got that brake balance controller all the way to the front on 5. Settings for the controller: assists, traction control 1, weak ABS, counter steer assistance on strong, and for controller, steering sensitivity 5, not that makes any difference. Force feedback max torque 3, force feedback sensitivity 10. And with that the case, folks, this is the last race. We're just going to dive straight in and we're going to see where we go. Away we go. As you know, it is the full 24-hour. We're going to see what we've got for fuel to start with. Mr. Boulanger from France in the old McLaren. Now I do have to air a confession. It has been pointed out that I quoted the wrong driver for flipping the car at Le Mans. It wasn't Mr. Roland Ratzenberger. He'd unfortunately passed away by the time that incident happened in '99. But it was Mark Webber and his teammate, and his teammate's name just eludes me for a moment. You know what my brain's like. We're up to 11th place. Now we're expecting a couple of these cars to be really, really strong. We know the 917 Living Legend is a pretty decent car, and I think I've left myself a good one for the victory. But we'll have to just wait and see. We'll have to try and put the laps in now. We will get rolling time penalties, which will be caused if we hit the cars. We don't have to slow down at the actual penalty line. We get to scrub them as we go, so we can choose to scrub them however we want to. But the first part of the race, as you know, is to try and get that super duper absolutely awesome fastest lap in if we can. We're only in 11th place, so we're not making a massive amount of inroads. 7.5 seconds behind the leaders. Now we do have a gearing advantage. We have an 8th gear, which we can use it. We've just got to be careful about slamming people here, so don't really want to pick up penalties unnecessarily. Oh, the GT1 comes around the outside of us there. Mr. Secchi takes our 11th place. We'll get a little bit of that back. This is going to be a hotly competitive race, that much I do know. Oh, there's a real collision on the apex there. There's £1 million or £2 of damage just occurred. Oh my lord. Just throw dollars out the window as we go past. Right, up to 8th place. Fortunate by that incident. Just brake a little bit coming through there. Oh, we're going to pick up a penalty now. And that'll be a big one for the size of cut we got. Oh, we're going to have to go to the grass. We're scrubbing that penalty already. Ignoring track limits. Yes, I did. Up to 4th place. Oh, I couldn't get the car to slow down there. Must be dirt on the tyres from that little sojourn off the track. Still fairly warm. The sun's still up there, burning away. Yeah, I've definitely lost some downforce. Lost some grip there. Have to try and get that back. Mr. Kondo and Mr. Berry having a real good run. Chase them down a little bit if we can. We'll scrub the penalty at the top of the next hill. So we're fast heading towards the Le Mans series. We've got 8 weeks until the race starts. Until D-Day. We're now rolling the entries in. The entries are coming thick and fast. We've got 2 teams from the Netherlands. I believe I've got now 2 full teams running from my house. So we've got 6 guys coming here. We're going to run 1 rig downstairs, 1 rig upstairs. And we're going to try and keep the teams separate. We're not going to cross over. We're going to try and keep it as authentic as we possibly can. We just went purple sector on the first stint. Up to 4th place, so 4 seconds behind Mr. Schneider now. We'll be looking to try and close in on Mr. Hunt now, 13 seconds in the lead. On lap 3. Just 5 minutes into the race, 6 minutes in. Lap time of 2:16. Mr. Hunt's already popped in at 2:11. I'll leave some room there for Mr. Berry as Mr. Conde just tries to just clean us up there. We scootled off the track. We're still going faster than we have done previously. Even though we've had a slight sojourn, that's our second exit from the circuit. Mr. Dyer coming back at us. We get a tap there, don't we? Now we've got a queue in front of us, but those 4 cars, they've all come past us this lap, which is shocking in itself. Let's hope Mr. Hunt and Mr. Anderson are having a good fight. Mr. Conde's backed out of that. Still got that slowdown penalty to concede. Oh, Mr. Derry, Mr. Dyer having a coming together. We're back into that 3rd position. The car is trying to be difficult to slow down at the minute. We've probably given it some more downforce or some more weight, really. But there is a little procession behind us. Let's see if we can find a little bit of power to get the tow down. 15 seconds behind Mr. Hunt in the 787B, I believe. Probably going to get a little penalty for that. Yeah, we got an extra half second just for the... Oh, and we scrubbed it as well. Look, it put it on, but they took it off again. Happy days. And we put a 2:13 in. And we're catching up on Mr. Anderson. What car's Mr. Anderson in? Just started to put a gap in on Mr. Dyer. Tyres are looking half done as we enter lap 5, so we could get to lap 9, which would potentially mean a 2-stop. Oh, I'm just going to suck a penalty in there, aren't we? That's going to pop up another second. Yeah, it did. We'll keep scrubbing that off as we go, though. Very quick down there, look, purple sector. Mr. Hunt's put in a 2:11. He's obviously got much more cornering ability than we have. And the lights come on round the circuit as we just start to notice that the sun is actually going down and the evening's drawing in. The sun has actually dropped down behind the hills now and track temperature's dropping, so the grip will just slightly fade away, and what we kind of expect is we get a little bit of better tyre wear because the temperature's gone away. The tyres are less tacky, but you get a little bit less grip, but you get better endurance, one would expect. And I did see we went purple sector again. There's a chance here that we might be able to pop in a very good little time here. Look at that, fastest lap of the race, a 2:11.506. Just announce ourselves onto the stage as we come around. 11 seconds, 12 seconds really behind Mr. Hunt. We're not ready to start scrubbing that time penalty yet. We will keep the power down. We'll see if anybody's in the mood to challenge us on that fastest lap. We came through Eau Rouge there in 5th gear instead of 6th. And that certainly cost us 1/3 of a second. So just as I've gone a little bit quiet there, I'm watching in my mirror, watching these guys catch us up. I'm just thinking about my strategy as we're coming to the end of lap 6. My tyres are looking a bit shonky and I've got 3 laps of fuel left. I'm going to do one more lap, definitely. I don't know if I've got the actual grip in these tyres to really start to push on. We're still holding down that fastest lap. I'd like to average 2:13s. 2:13s would give us a shot. We've taken a little bit of time out of Mr. Hunt. Climb up the hill in 5th gear. Putting a gap to those boys behind us, but Mr. Hunt disappears around the corner as we just come into the straight. So I'm kind of thinking we went purple again on low fuel, so I'm kind of thinking if we go in at the 45 point, we're going to be 3-stopping, which I don't know how that's going to fare, to be honest, but we'll have to see. It's prime for a stop now. Tyres are definitely saying it's time to stop. We're scrubbing that time penalty very slowly, but as we just leave the track, Mr. Dyer comes past us. That's just a loss of grip through the tyre wear. We're gonna have to pit because I can't keep this thing on the circuit. Yeah, he's definitely running wild. There we go. Running wide, not wild. So pits this time. Look how far Mr. Dyer's made the run on us there. In we go. There we go. Take the mediums again. Take all the fuel. It says we got 23% left. Oh, that's interesting. There's 2 more laps of fuel there. Hard tyres might be... Well, hard tyres will be slower. It's going to be a very interesting scenario. So 2 cars behind us, Mr. Boulanger. No, Mr. Ilanares and Mr. Garner. Fuel's going in now, tyres are changed. Mr. Garner's some 53 seconds back, so I'm guessing he's stopped for fuel already. We need to be careful to make sure we don't cut a pit lane line here. We'll attract some more penalties. We've already got penalties that we don't need to worry about, in all fairness. There's half a second of penalties there. There we go, we're on the circuit. It's looking a bit damp. Bit of dew for the evening. Right, we're down in 15th place, so we lost 13 places to the pit stop. As we scroll off the track and probably pick up some more penalties. No heat in the tyres. Got to scrub the top surface off after you've come out of the pits. They're brand new. We've still got that slowdown on there. 1/10 of a second to scrub off now, which we're not doing deliberately. It's just eroding naturally without causing us any drama. We've got to keep an eye on the leaders to see who's pitting. We're 56 seconds behind, so we'll have to measure where we are when we get past all the pit stops. Mr. Linares in 14th place. We're just gonna squeeze past him now. Penalty's gone. Obviously, as we let off the gas for Mr. Linares, we shed that penalty. Mr. Boulanger is straight ahead of us. Boulanger in the Mercedes. Absolute awesome vehicle. I did already confess that I'd forgotten, didn't I? Yes. Still haven't remembered who the name of the driver is. He gave that up quite easily. Dumbreck. Peter Dumbreck was the gentleman who flipped it at Le Mans. Here we go then, Mr. Schneider in front of us. Came through there like an absolute train. The front end of the car went so soft and light. We're on full fuel, so I don't anticipate this car. It went purple first time through. That was how to get through that bottom end of Eau Rouge, definitely. Looking for the lead. Oh, Mr. Dyer's now put in the fastest lap. A 2:11.186. We're going to have to try and claim that back, aren't we? In the heat of the night, we're going to have to see if we can claim that throne, that mantle back. Mr. Dillon in the long tail. We just scrubbed past him. I don't know if he's pitted yet. The assumption is that none of these guys have pitted. So if we can catch him, we're catching him. We're 30 seconds down now. Mr. Caputo, Mr. Waters. Mr. Yashi. All gonna fall victim to the 917 living legend. We both actually went a bit deep there. But we tried to give each other room. 22 seconds down. I don't know how that's possible. I'm not going that quickly, surely. I'm not taking 10 seconds out of a lap. That was a 2:15. Are they trying to stretch their fuel? Making our way back up to 4th place, 16 seconds back. Half a second purple. Mr. Ogawa just changing his line into the corner there. Blue flags. Oh, Mr. Ogawa's from the back of the pack, isn't he? There he is. He's the lap down already. And we're charging our way up here. Really taking it to the pack. Looking forward to seeing what the time sector's going to say. Whether we're going to be purple again, I don't know. No, 3/4 of a second or more down. We lost that off on the edge of the track, didn't we? But we're only 9 seconds back off the leaders, which baffles me. I've not seen them go to the pit. We're up with Mr. Seki in the extremely high power. It's something like 900 pp. Nissan. Mr. Dye, I'm going to have to back out of it. I want to catch Mr. Hunt. There's Mr. Hunt. I saw him ahead. Five seconds now. Unless they've seriously got stuck into the lap traffic and struggled to get past, then that's why they've been slow. Because I don't believe they've pitted. I've not seen anybody go to the pits at all. Maybe they're just pacing themselves. Maybe their strategy is they know I'm going to be something 3-stopping, so maybe they do know. Mr. Dyer now catching back up. He seems to have had a hurry up from the pit crew. Tell him to get a chivvy on. Kind of expect the 7.8B to be the one out front. He's the one we've got to compete with. So Mr. Seki has gone to the pits in the Toyota GT1. 2% of fuel medium tyres, so he's really made them stretch to 12. And this is where we're going to really catch Mr. Hunt now. Secchi looks like he's going to have to two-stop if that's his... if that's the length of his tyres and fuel. Mr. Dyer behind us is just backing away. Again, I note he still holds that fastest lap by almost, I'd say 3.5 tenths faster than we were. Just ran the car off the track as we gave him the tiniest of love taps just to let him know we're here. Blue flames kicking out the side there. I'm sure he's running on fumes. He's got to be pitting. As we come in here, he's come round. He looks like he's going for the one-stopper. Mr. Dyer's gone to the pit. We're at the real point where we should be. Able to put in a real flyer of a lap now. No traffic. The ability to punch out the lap time. No penalties to scrub. A second into the purples. Don't know where we're going to be. Oh, we've lost 0.2. We've actually lost a whole second scrabbling through there. Let's see if we can really bang in a fast third sector. And now we're going to pick up a penalty. Yeah, half a second penalty from just trying to push. We only wanted 0.2. Just outside, 212s we're putting in. Front tyres are scrubbing round. Mr. Hunt and Mr. Berry both go to the pits. Our tyres are looking really quite shonky. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. So it tells me we're pitting the end of this lap or the next one. We're going to start to really suffer with grip. And look at them. They've all gone to the pits. They're all one-stopping on their mediums. Nobody's gone for the hard tyre. I wonder if we were to bang in a pit stop and go hard tyres, fuel map 6, and try and see how far we can go. That might be the process as we run wide. That's an indicator that we need to stop. We're just 23 seconds ahead, knowing that those guys are not going to stop again. We need to double our fuel mileage. We can do one more lap to try and see if we can fuel map 6 and fuel save all the way to the end. Gonna go at 25 minutes. We're gonna need to do an extra 10 minutes. We don't know whether that is gonna be the right process, but can we do 11 laps, he wonders. 11 laps. That's what we need. 11 laps in the 2:15 sort of range. We go full purple again. But we're not going to complete this lap. Oh, we've just broken through to sunrise. The morning has just arrived. Absolutely stunning. So we're now just over 12 hours into the race. 5 AM, 6 AM in the morning as the sun starts to rise. Hitting in this time. 21 seconds ahead of Mr. Anderson. I think we're going to go hard tyres. Fuel map 6. We're going to see if we can get all the way to the end. Hard tyres, all the fuel, and as we come out the pits, do what we got to do. Let's just try and talk with a very cold mouth. It's a very striking car, very sleek, very modern. No obvious aero other than that massive thing on the back. No real big ducts, just the two on the bonnet. A large fan in the roof of the car, two massive exhausts. So Mr. Anderson comes to the pits as well on low fuel. We still maintain the position there. Mr. Dyer now takes the lead. Mr. Secchi follows him. Mr. Hunt's going to come through, followed by Mr. Berry, and we're away. So as we get out of the pit lane, there's less than 25 minutes to go. So as we come out of here, fuel map goes to 6 to try and give us the longevity of fuel. We get a 3-second penalty because we touch the white line. We're in 5th place. Don't worry about that time penalty. We'll let that scrub. Right, the idea here is we're going to try and do 25 minutes no stop. Just don't know how quick we can be on these hard tyres. Oh, the little flames coming out the back of that car there. He's conserving something, isn't he? Unless he's got no battery, which will hamper him significantly, won't it? So we're 11 seconds off the lead. We're going to try to run as far as we can. Mr. Hunt now, 3rd place. As we come charging through. Car seems very comfortable on the hard tyres. Still showing 8.4 laps of fuel. As we're closing in on Mr. Secchi now, we've scrubbed half of that time penalty away. I know Mr. Secchi can go much quicker than he is doing. And there's that Mr. Dyer directly ahead. It must be 1.6 seconds ahead. Just running a wider line for Mr. Secchi. He's really is all over the place. He's probably going to bump me here. Not really being defensive. He's being a bit careless, one would suggest. And here we go, charging down the start finish onto lap 18. Mr. Dyer runs it wide. We now take the lead, so just on 8 laps of fuel remaining. It's just whether these guys are pushing to conserve fuel to go all the way no stop, or whether, and here he comes charging past again, not happy with being in second place. making somewhat of a race of it. Maybe they know they've got the fuel. But a race is going to be had. I can pretty much tell that we're going to have one. I just don't know what their strategy is going to be. I've just been thinking whether it would be possible to save the race replay and skip between them and see what their fuel map is, see what their strategy is, see if it's possible to see where they're at and what they're doing. We've only dropped to 7.8 laps. We've only used 0.2 of a lap of fuel for this entire lap, so Mr. Dyer starting to make a break for it. We know we can let him go though. We don't need to overly chase him down. He's pretty much in our sights. Not forgetting we're running a very, very low fuel consumption rate in an effort to try and see out this race. I don't know if we're going to have to do a splash and dash and go major soft session. That's always the opportunity there at the end. The car feels very comfortable on these hards though. I know we're running a slower lap time. Look at Mr. Dillon, a 2:03.736. That is the fastest lap I've ever seen in this series of races. That is absolutely epic. What cars Mr. Dillon running? Holy Chipotle. He's there in 6th place. Big, bold, woolly, bully American dude. Just see him shouting freedom down the big long straight as he's... He must have gone like a rocket to get a 2:03. That's some 7-8 seconds quicker than I've been able to do this race. 2:11 I think our fastest time was, wasn't it? Because we're just pacing off Mr. Dyer here. We've got no need to push. Just pulls away that little bit more as we get towards the end of the lap. And under braking we close in on him. Two 17s are good. They're about where we want to be. Still got that slowdown penalty hanging overhead. We're into the last 15 minutes. Get into his draft, see if we can save some fuel. Get him to suck us along. Mr. Dillon goes to the pits then. He was low on fuel. Tremendous lap, sir. Tremendous. Coming up on the back marker. Mr. Dyer says, if you want to go, I'll leave you the line. You can take the lead if you want to, my friend. I'm saying, no, I'm perfectly comfortable here. Catbird seat. sat on your shoulder, watching what you're doing, where you're going. Is he going to go blow straight past that back marker, Mr. Garner? We're going to do the same. Not going to let Mr. Dyer get away. Not at this point of the race. Into the last 14 minutes we go. Slowly scrubbing away those time penalties. We're 7.5 seconds now ahead of Mr. Secchi. As Mr. Dyer again gets that gap to us. But we concertina that right back. 6.9 laps of fuel. That tells me 7 laps of fuel at 2 minutes. That's taken us all the way to the end. We're going all the way to the end on this fuel, and these tyres are good. We just have to find a way of tickling past Mr. Dyer. We're either going to set that up for the last 2 laps, knowing that we haven't really got a massive amount of fuel spare. Tyres are looking okay. This is the waiting game. This is, instead of pitting another time, we're 11 seconds ahead of Secchi. If Dyer pits, do we? There's a question. If he pits in the last 2 laps, no, we don't. He'll never catch us back up. If he pits now, he'll make up 35 seconds on us over 5 laps. He'll be 7 seconds a lap quicker. Ooh, big bit of smoke there. Mr. Dyer had to brake on hard as Mr. Linares gets the blue flags. Mr. Dyer won't be happy with that, will he? 6.3 laps of fuel to go. Still 18 minutes. Well, I'd say there's still 15 minutes of fuel. 2:17 again. Consistent laps. We're working to the plan nicely here. 13, 14 seconds ahead of Secchi almost. Coming through there beautifully into Mr. Dyer's draft. Picking it up, 7th gear, letting the engine pull us along, 8th gear. Tyres are looking beautiful. We actually don't have the oomph to get past Mr. Dyer at this point. We would have to turn the fuel map up. 10 minutes remaining now. 4 laps, maybe a 5th. So we got 2 laps spare. Do we pump it up to fuel map 4 and push? There's the question. I get the feeling Mr. Dyer has got the same sort of strategy going on. He's conserving what he's doing. He's noticing. He's exploring, pulling away from us down the straight. But he's catching the back markers now. They're proving frustrating for him. The blue flags are on. He's having to make allowances when he comes up to them, which is great for us because they know we're here. There's Mr. Schneider. Although I think we frightened Mr. Schneider a smidgen. The time penalty is almost gone. 5.8 laps of fuel. I think it's time to turn the wick up. See if we can just... Mr. Secchi's gone to the pit, so there's a window of opportunity for us. This gap behind us, so it's now 21 seconds to go. No, can't do those lyrics, can we? There isn't 21 seconds to go. It's just coming down to 8 minutes remaining. How far back is it to Mr. Hunt? Mr. Secchi was on 3% of fuel, so he had to pit. Who knew custom races would be so good? 43 seconds out of Hunt, so we've got a whole pit stop if we needed to. And Mr. Dyer is really starting to push on now. Who'd have thought we'd be chasing down the R92, eh? How many cars take the engine from this? All Nissans. All the Skylines do. Makes them such a capable car. 5.3 laps of fuel. We're going to fuel map 4. Oh, we're just going to pick up a penalty now. Didn't have the front end grip for that. Half a second penalty. We just scrubbed all the rest of that penalty away. 50% of fuel to do 3 laps. Going to fuel map 3. See if we can start to push him. He's definitely feeling the push. He knows we've turned the wick up. He offered us the outside line if we wanted it. And we take the lead. 4.5 laps of fuel. It's got to be fault free from now on in. Tyres are good. See if we get the same issues and incidents with the back marker that Mr. Dyer was getting. We're coming round to lap the Mercedes. And Mr. Dyer's gone to the pits. Mr. Dyer's gone in. 4 minutes remaining. I'm going to crank the fuel map to where it needs to be. We're pushing now. We know we've got the victory sewn up because of the tactics we employed. We had to back out of that. The French driver not 100% sure where we were going. We've scrubbed the fronts quite heavily on this session, but that was the intention, trying to preserve the rears, let the front slide. We're back into the heat of the day, look. 3 minutes, 2 laps remaining, one would suggest. We're going to let Mr. Boulanger go. We don't need to race him. He's not a threat to us. But he's going to get blues, then the reds, blues, then the tail lights, the reds of our tail lights all the time. He's either going to get blues or reds, whichever one he wants. He thinks we're going slowly. So it doesn't look like we will get... Oh my lord. It doesn't look like we'll get fastest lap of the race. Not at a 2:03.736. This car just wants to push around corners. Unbelievable. That's given Mr. Boulanger the room he needs and the room he wants to get ahead. And he's gone to the pits anyway, so... 32 seconds ahead of Mr. Dyer as we enter what will be the final lap of the race. Less than 2 minutes remaining. 26 laps on a 2-stop. Absolutely tremendous. Only probably the 4th or 5th car to do a 26 lapper in the hour. 25's enough to win normally, but against my setups it certainly makes it much harder. So this is going to be the victory lap. Nobody in the front of us that we're going to need to overtake. It's all about driving those clean lines, getting us back to the start finish and celebrating the end of another grind series. And I hope you've enjoyed it, folks. I appreciate it took a little while to get to the end. We did the majority of them, but you should have been enjoying them along the way. And if you're like me and you're trying to play the game the best way possible so as you don't get bored, I've never used the same car twice to do any grinding. So if you follow these videos and you've watched them all and you race against me in all of them, ultimately, I use the word ultimately a lot, you'll never use the same car twice. And it's enough to go out there and buy every car in the game, because I've done that now. Play the game the right way and you'll enjoy it without needing to get bored, without needing to wish for more. There is enough in the game to keep you handy, to keep your hand in, to keep you playing. But I know a lot of people want more, and I'm sure it will come. Mr. Dyer now down to 20 seconds. He certainly is pushing hard to try and come back, but here we go round here for the last time. Down to the bus stop for one more time. This is it. Here's the timer about to tick through. It's 0. As we again probably overshoot that final corner. But here it is, the final victory. The final drive to the line. And there you have it, folks. The living legend. And it will always be. And there you have it. Brought to you by Widdowmaker and GT Omega. Absolutely tremendous. Not a massive victory. Well, it's big enough victory. Look at that. 1 hour and 13 seconds to complete 26 laps. The fastest lap went to Mr. Dillon on lap 15. We lapped everybody up to 13th, which the CLK had made his way from the back there. I just need to double check how many. We only had the one. Yeah, that was all right. We only had the one 787B. But there we have it. 18 seconds ahead of Mr. Dyer. Another 12 seconds ahead of Mr. Hunt. It could have been so much different. And there you have it, folks. 376k. And from me, it's a goodbye. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.